And the Mark Kidder, work all beverage, pussies, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Oh, come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special wrestling review episode of the Triple B as we talk about the Royal Rumble. Don't adjust your screens. No, I may not be wearing the glasses, but I am still the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues. And hey, yeah, I make that joke because, yes, I am in the same room as the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Because I actually watched this event.
It's amazing.
It is. It's a
small miracles.
Once every 2-year miracle that I actually tuned in for a wrestling show. So
yeah. Well, Howard, it's great to have you here.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have you on the southern set of the Triple B.
Yeah, it's a little roomy down here.
Yeah. We could even set up a desk back here, do this on a normal basis.
Yeah, it's a hell of a commute down here.
Every once in a while. And, of course, not only did you get to watch the show, another member of the Triple B family got to watch it. And he's, of course, joining us right over on the side, right over here. Rude Boy, Kyr. Welcome to you.
That's me. How you guys doing?
Now that we got technology working.
All right.
Pretty good. All right. So, Howard, how do we normally do this thing? We start drinking first, right?
Usually we do, but it's 11 o'clock, and Howard still has to commute back to the northern Triple B base.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen.
Oh, he's got two.
Oh, I mean,
he's living the high life. He's doing a double tap on tap right away.
Yeah, but don't let my not drinking slow you down.
Oh,
and
okay.
If you wish to have something, I can reach into the handy Triple B fridge.
I can have one for Howie.
Yeah. He's gonna have one for you. Awesome. Let's see what should we have? I got a selection of 5 right there next to you.
You know what? Here's what we're doing.
Okay.
Blind pick.
Fridge man's choice.
Hey, it's the one that was recommended, and that is everybody's favorite What's on Tap is happening. Here's what we do right off the bat. It is the Rhombus Guys Brewing Company Iconic Blonde Ale. Of course, Rhombus Guys Brewing, now defunct, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know, essentially. But out of El Forco Grande and
It's a
Rhombus
collector's
Guys, this here brew is an ale proudly brewed in El Forco Grande, North Dakota. Government warning. 12 fluid ounces, 4.8% alcohol by volume. About the beer, it's easy drinking and approachable. The iconic blonde ale is brewed in North Dakota with North Dakota grown 2-row malted barley, a touch of honey malt, and the finest Pilsner malt. These ingredients are accompanied by a small dose of American-grown hops. It's tall, it's blonde, and I'll take another. Rhombus Guys Brewing Company is located downtown Grand Forks, at least it was, and is no longer in the old Metropolitan Opera House. The mission to bring you great beers on every occasion. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, kind of like what we say here on this show. Don't be square, drink outside the box. Rhombus Guys in El Forco Grande. Rude Boy, which one are you going with first on your side of things? I'm pretty sure I've had this before.
You have.
Well, I'm going with the Finnish long drink. This is the strong citrus variety and 8.5% alcohol by volume. The legend of Finland since 1952.
Two, by
yes.
the way, I'd like to point out that we got Big D in the chat saying, "Good evening, sunshine."
Good evening, Big D.
Sunshine, singular and not plural. So
Yes.
who's he talking to? You or me?
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate the shout out and welcome all the sunshines in the chat.
Sunshine shooting out of your ass. All right. The trolling minister keeps trying, but things happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
How do we do this, Howard?
Well,
it's been a month.
I was going to ask, Kyle,
Yes.
what do you think of that strong style long drink? Because I had that recently, and it's pretty good.
I will say that it is the best of their varieties because it packs a punch if you can pace it at the right amount. It will give you a decent buzz, and I will say it accompanied me along the way throughout this evening's wrestling activities. So I have good things to say about it, and it's something that if I were to compare it to one of my other go-to beverages, it'd be kind of like maybe a quality vodka with I'll say a squirt soda. So a little bit of fizz, a little bit of kick to it, but yeah, I enjoy it.
All right. Nice. Well, Kidder, you threw it to me to describe how we do this. Usually, because we changed it up because I'm here in person, but Kidder and I have been doing this now for way too many years, and we like to make predictions, kind of a little bit of a contest between us to see who can predict the most matches correctly. Winner gets the defunct WWE pay-per-view bragging rights. I'm currently the holder.
The whole pay-per-view.
Do I maintain it or do I lose it? We'll find out. Everybody has to lock their picks in beforehand. And hey, fun twist, because if you saw our prediction video, which went out earlier today, you know that we're also competing against AI, because the local geek joined us for the prediction show, and since he doesn't watch wrestling, he just asked Google Bard for its views. So can we beat AI? We'll find out. All of that. So,
So are we going versus the geek or the bard?
we're going against the Bard this time.
And not to be confused with the bar, because only one of the two members are still in WWE. And the other didn't even show up tonight.
Yeah. Well, so
we are.
usually we talk about the pre-show,
Yeah.
but there really wasn't much to the pre-show except for some great trolling of the audience. I know they were ticking you off because they were kind of distracting as they were going, but
Yes. Florida Man was live, loud, and on location.
yeah. My favorite was, for a while, behind Booker T, the one guy who just was like constantly like agreeing and like hyping up whatever Booker T was saying. And
Palm tree guy.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Anchor Man.
Anchor. Yeah,
Anchor Man.
Sure.
He had anchors on his shirt. So he's
Yeah. He was just sitting behind like Booker T, like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the stuff. That's
But I think that the panel that was doing the pre-show got back at him when they made their prediction about the Super Bowl being the Ravens versus the 49ers, when they had the big guy with the big sign in the background saying, "Go Detroit Lions," and it felt like it came complete circle, but it was a wild hour speculation.
Truthfully, I just thought somebody was, mistaken which event they were at. They raced to the arena and they accidentally grabbed their "Go Detroit" sign.
Maybe it was a premonition of what was to happen later on in the evening.
Oh, maybe somebody didn't take their Alzheimer's meds.
Oh yeah. Happens to the best and the worst of us.
Right.
So
Additionally, the other
I'm not on any
4
of
or
those
5 people back
medications, though.
there who were putting messages on their phone that you could barely read, thankfully. But then also he was getting hot. He was trying to show off his invisible abs and stuff. Guy was.
I'm sure there's plenty of spray paint ab locations on St. Pete. So
Yeah.
So that was really the highlight of the pre-show.
Yeah.
And
not that we would need any of that type of service. So
Yeah. Built.
Speak for yourselves.
Hey, that's where the championship goes, okay? All right. Yes, here we are. So I suppose now that the pre-show and the predictions have been locked in, and there were no matches as usual, as 92% of the time, it happens every time.
Yeah.
I suppose we could just discuss the show itself. The graphics. not too bad. You know, they're all right. They got a little lightning shooting out of here, shooting out of the posts, shooting across the lines. I did notice the reds and the blues behind there, kind of laser beamy. That's what Dynamite's going with AEW. Oh, man. I sense a lawsuit. Probably not.
Just a lack of creativity, but that's
Yeah, maybe that too. Yeah.
I enjoyed the shots of the lights and the big back scale, and then when they went to the outside drone shot above the stadium, you could see the soft glows on the dome on the outside, since it wasn't in a enclosed. Sorry. It wasn't an outside stadium, even though they play in the tropical Florida area that might need occasional rain protection, but
Ain't nobody
yeah,
want to get rained on.
it was
during
cool to see.
baseball.
But what if it rained during the Royal Rumble?
It's happened before. In fact,
Well,
was it
let's do it again, damn it.
It was 2 years ago. They postponed part of the Rumble on night 1, I think it was. It might have been night 2. Whatever. It got postponed for like 45 minutes because a thunderstorm rolled through. They had to shut it down. Shut it down! And that's why having a closed air stadium for a pay-per-view is a good idea.
There you go.
Yeah. So the graphics were pretty good. Basically a reuse from last year and kind of the last year before that.
Mm-hmm.
We started up
If
the
only
show.
we knew some guy that did graphics.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. Right before, at the end of the pre-show there, Triple H getting the crowd pumped up. Are you ready? So that was all right. And then we come into a soft open. Michael Cole welcoming us. And the first words out of my mouth, "Where's the opening video?"
He was awfully concerned.
I was pissed. I was getting ready. I had my phone out. I was looking up WWE contact info, and I was going to write a sternly worded letter. And then suddenly it dips to black, and there's the opening video. Oh, there it is. Finally, we get an opening video. Okay. And
Yeah, they teased you. They teased you for a couple minutes there.
They sure did. Yeah. Got the teaser, but there was not a pleaser. The video was pretty good.
It was all right.
Yeah.
It was all right.
It could have been better.
I
But
mean,
it wasn't the worst one they've had in the past 12 months.
Yeah, returning Hulk Hogan kind of being the narrator on that, which was a bit of a surprise. The interesting thing, and it wouldn't be the only time pointed out, but they had to avoid using the phrase "ready to rumble" because that's trademarked. So you had Hogan mentioning such things as, you know, when you come here, you gotta be rumble ready.
Yeah.
Their kind of cheesy way of trying to get around that. Yeah.
It's like going to the supersized bowl.
Yeah. But otherwise, it was a lot of it was like bullet points that he was hitting. And like, oh, we got to have him say running wild at some point. And
Yeah, brother.
it felt a little disjointed in some of that for my liking. But
Yeah. At least they kept the match footage to a minimum. It was still in there, and that annoys me.
it doesn't bother me quite as much.
It annoys me. Make a promo video. Make a true open. Make it open to the show. I don't need rehash stuff. That's for the 82 promos we're going to see during the show to fill the show, because you can't fill the show.
What I was surprised with was they played the same videos before the match
What?
that they did in the middle of the match,
Why would they do
and then
that,
they
Rude
tried to
Boy?
rehash the rehype 2/3 of the way down.
No,
But
they would never do that, Rude Boy.
But it sounds like you guys are more than familiar with that scheme, and it sounds
That's a great
like
word for it. Scheme.
Yes.
Stealing our time.
Yeah, it's more of that they were under the misbegotten belief that the audience is dumb and they're going to forget everything right away. So you got to replay these things over and over again because you may have forgotten the thing that you saw an hour ago.
Yeah.
They're going for the member moments in the middle of the match or in the middle of the production.
It's kind of like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, yeah, that's where I put my Social Security card that's been in the same place for 12 years.
What's the code to my safe? Huh? They can't take my license away.
What? I thought this
Anyways.
was America.
Yeah, well, they certainly have a technique to it, and to me, it's way too easy to spot.
Yeah,
it's a formula.
But after that opening package, we get the first surprise of the night, and probably my favorite surprise of the night, and that is that we are going to get Pat McAfee on commentary, which I was excited about.
Tell us how you really feel there, everybody.
I will keep this family friendly and leave it at that.
Oh man, I was hoping to get him fired up. Like it was already.
Well, okay. Well, let me take another draw of the finish long drink, and I'll give you my 2 cents.
See, I'll just say I like McAfee only because he brings an energy to the commentary and a little bit of chaos, and it's not the same kind of, because if you've listened to enough WWE commentary, it's like they hit the same notes and it's the same and they don't have anybody who really gets like, oh my gosh, excited about stuff. And I at least like the fact that he brings energy. It's kind of like a very unpolished Mauro Ranallo. Because that's the thing that I always liked about Mauro Ranallo, is that he was energy. He was excited about what he was seeing. Mauro Ranallo, though, could be a lot more classy in how he did it. Where I'll say Pat McAfee is very much the untamed, rough around the edges version of that. But I at least like the fact that he brings energy, and when he sees something cool, he gets excited, and I like that a little bit more. That he throws them off their game. I like that wild card factor to the commentary.
If you took that same energy and you put that into the production manager that pipes into
Vince McMahon, he's not here anymore.
No. We don't need that. Please, Lord, we do not need that.
That's what he's been doing for the past 40 years.
But if you were to put that energy, enthusiasm, guidance into the people's ears, whether it be before the production or during production, as producers, it takes time to graduate from generations past and announcers that have done things that you're so used to for a long time. If I were to equate it to something I can associate to being a Blackhawks fan, Pat Foley, legendary NHL announcer. He's done national broadcasts, has done Blackhawks broadcasts for the longest time, whether it be on the radio, the TV. He just has a way of calling an NHL hockey game. It's something that, you hire a new generation once somebody retires and you move on to a new production altogether, and it just doesn't feel right. But Pat, if you were to take his motive, his energy, and you put it behind the scenes and you just put it into their ear instead of having him be we'll say a character insert, would be a lot more useful to me.
Character insert. Well, is he Bugs Bunny?
Well, he is. He's turning into the Bugs Bunny of wrestling. and he tries to bring the younger generation in this energy and the sheesh and the whole it disillusions the people that have come from wrestling and they're used to legendary broadcasters, and you're trying to be like, okay, Pat McAfee's number 23, and then he's like, well, I'm going to leave it at that, but it's something that I think that you inject too much change into an equation and you begin to lose what it was. But you can make the transition a little bit easier if you try to associate one generation to another. But it's something that's just my opinion, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that have conflicting opinions.
Change.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just something. I'm not a big fan of Pat, but that's my 2 cents.
That's a fair critique. That is a very fair critique on that.
Now, what do you think about Marcelo Rodriguez and Jerry Soto, part of the Spanish commentary team?
Can we get to the actual match?
No, I was hoping you had some beef about them too. And
no, honestly, if people make the effort to devote their time, their energy to want to be part of something, then albeit to them to be paid as a professional to do their job. But there's also the aspect of saying, well, over the past 5-6 years, how have you captured this audience's opinions? How have you captured their energy? How have you captured their favor? And just trying to maybe incorporate a little bit of your techniques or the prior techniques into what you do and how you say things. Because I've seen it in a lot of things. Sometimes in my own job, even. But that's a separate topic. But in broadcasting, we'll say it's something that you have a brand new broadcasting team. You have sometimes Pat is, I will not call him a former wrestler. He's a self-insert that wants energy. He wants the money, and he wants the time right now, because he's like, well, I spent 38 seconds in the wrestling ring this one Saturday night. Or he's like, it's just something else to take to his podcast to shout to his audience, whoever decides to listen to him.
I would stand up with the microphone, but I'm attached, so
it's something that he had his moment, and he had his moment to somehow insert himself into wrestling, which
maybe
that's just my opinion, but it's something that it's something I wish that you would see a legacy broadcaster and a new broadcaster do that for a year, and then transfer to a broadcast team that's like, well, okay, we're live ringside, we're gonna talk with so and so for their thing. But it's all about what you grew up with. You're used to a certain way, and then when things change and it takes such a massive twist in the way it happens, you have somebody that used to kick footballs for a living, and they're like, well, I'm suddenly qualified to talk about wrestling. And I never watched wrestling growing up, but I see some parallels in how sometimes you make so hard of a turn that you sometimes might lose some fans because of the twist.
And I think that's why Kevin Patrick was fired. Because he kind of, and Rude Boy, you might not remember who Kevin Patrick is, but he was the commentator from Ireland. He'd sat at the desk for a while in the pre-show, or the kickoff. My bad, the kickoff. And was the SmackDown co-commentary, part of the team on commentary for a while, at least until this past Monday, and then gone. So, a little bit of a change this week. Anyway, thanks for your thoughts on that, Rude Boy. Appreciate your commentary on commentary. We'll get more thoughts on Pat McAfee once you finish that drink and lived the high life as well. As we start talking wrestling, because that's what this whole thing is really all about. Again, the Royal Rumble tonight, St. Petersburg, Florida, Tropicana Field. A record for Tropicana Field tonight, 48,044 people stuffed to the rafters. You don't obviously remember 5 years ago with being at Phoenix with the Royal Rumble, how many people we had, but it was around the same with 40,000 some people there. So a lot of people coming to see that. Not also at a baseball field.
They seem to like baseball fields for the Rumble, and I think it's because of how they have it set up now with them coming up and out of the dugout.
Yeah. Wish it was a straight shot. I don't like the curve in the middle, the turn, the bend. I don't like it.
I don't mind the curve, although I wish, and we'll talk a little bit more about their production, especially as we start here.
Oh, yeah.
But they really should just put a camera on a rail that follows it. That would just... They could move back and forth, but yeah.
Now, the best time out of any to talk about the production value.
Yeah, I guess, because we're going into the first match and...
Right out of the video, Botchamania. Camera guys tripping over other people. They got camera angles shooting off over here, shooting off over there. Here's a butt, there's a leg.
Yep, some of the entrances, especially as people were entering the Rumble, they would just totally miss. Like, Orton was a great example, and that wasn't even, like, in the Rumble, but when Orton comes out, they were focused, and he'd just gone right past the camera, so you just kind of caught just the quick glimpse of him going, and then they cut to another angle.
Was that Randy Orton's shoulder?
And it cut off, like, part of his head, and it was, like,
just
just
his nose?
two very, very quick, and I'm like, you guys don't have a better angle, but yeah, they had a lot of weird angle choices, a lot of missed things, and you made the comment that you saw where somebody was saying like, since Kevin Dunn is gone, this is like the best production ever, and it's like, there's some...
I don't know about that. Let's look at all the mistakes. Either you got a new director or y'all just don't care anymore.
I think...
Like, full send it. Whatever. Take that camera. There's some ass in the middle of the screen. Let's take it.
Yeah. So, production-wise, there was quite a few kind of moments. So, and a lot, especially during the Rumble, like they didn't know exactly what to focus on. And I don't know if it's just that the director didn't take good notes when he met with the agents, because usually they will kind of lay out like, here are the high spots, here are the things that we're trying to get across. So the director kind of knows, hey, here's what I need to focus on. There may be action going on over here, but this is the story we're telling. It seems sometimes like you're missing the thing that you were supposed to be getting.
Big D says that maybe the camera guys are interns. Give them a break, haters. Well, you seem like an intern in this show, so...
That's a call out right there.
Straight shot.
I mean, it's one of those things, and Big D, you'll have to let us know in the chat if you actually saw the show. But
did you watch it, or is this your breaking news on all of the results?
But the reason I say that is because you have some experience in production as well. You would have probably called out these shots as well, because sometimes it was literally an entrance where it's like, oops, we missed catching that person. Let's jump to the other camera.
Oh, he did not see it. So good. thanks for joining us because this is going to be awesome. Or should I say awesome?
Maybe if we ever get to the actual matches.
Maybe.
There's only
Fun fact,
yeah,
this is the third Royal Rumble to be held in the Tampa Bay area. The first two were in 95 and 2021. First one was not held at Tropicana Field, but the 2021 Rumble was at Tropicana Field without an audience because the Thunderdome was there, live, loud, and in their person, in their bubble.
Oh, don't you mean quiet and empty? And...
In their bubble with sound piped in.
Oh, that's right. They did pipe in sound.
Yes. Fake claps.
Mm-hmm.
Other pieces. The graphics again, still okay. Orion's telling us that the Blues Brothers are ready to go, so we better get this show on the road. Yes, Big D, we would love your predictions, and not with a sarcastic laugh. I mean, we already know that you're sarcastic. So anybody else watching this, please drop your comments and your predictions in the chat, because we want to hear from you. And while you're thinking about doing that, hit the like button, smash that sub button. Please help us. Rude Boy's clicking some buttons, and he's going to be one of our other viewers. And click the thumbs up, please.
I'm just hoping somebody else talks in chat, because, I mean,
right?
The fact that we actually have Big D here, I mean, he's probably lonely, he's...
In the Big D Business Center by himself.
So, somebody needs to keep him company.
He needs somebody. By the way, if you want to buy a t-shirt to support the show, right here, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. If you're watching this, or, of course, later the audio version, then check the show notes. So, first match on the 4-match card that still, OMG, went over, is the Women's Rumble match. 30 women, approximately 90 seconds apart between entrants. We say that because last year and the year before we proved that whoever clicks the 90 seconds sucks.
Well, they go at some things, and like the clear example that the clock is not on the clock actually happened in the men's Rumble.
Yes.
And I know Kyle wasn't probably enjoying this segment, but when Pat McAfee got in to the actual match and out, they said, "Oh, you were in for 38 seconds," but right before he dropped out for good, the little clock popped up,
flashed up,
and then right as Michael Cole's like,
"Oh
he's
crap!
been 38 seconds.
38 seconds. It's not 90 yet."
Yeah, I didn't notice that one, but I wasn't so concerned about the clock timing as I was the portions where they had awesome wrestling moments, and they're like 3, 2, 1, and then they went to music intro, and somebody's just getting clocked in the corner, and then there's the panning shot of the ring.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, the match hasn't stopped yet somebody else is coming in, but the whole production is going to this. And then it goes from somebody getting clocked in the corner to them clocking somebody else and reversing that's production value for you.
I love this because one JS Gunslinger has found his way to the chat and is calling out Big D.
JS!
Big D's a very lonely man. That's why he's watching. Thank
chat
you.
on chat violence.
Also,
I love to
yes.
see it.
And then JS predicts for the Women's Rumble, no matter how many women end up in the match, Ronda Rousey for the win. So,
I mean, that's a bold prediction.
Yes.
Being that she isn't working with WWE, and
hey, that's his surprise entrant. Both the surprise entrant and the winner.
that wouldn't be the first person to do that.
He's got his
tonight.
picks, so thanks for getting your picks in there, JS. Big D still hasn't, and clearly slacking on the job in the business center. Much business to be dealing with, apparently, too.
I only had 90 minutes when I got home from family obligations this
90
afternoon.
seconds.
Well, 90 minutes, 90 seconds, it's the same thing in wrestling time. So to get my predictions in, and I got them in live during the show. So,
So
got to dedicate yourself.
you again for your grand finale pick for the women's 30-woman Rumble. You picked.
He picked Becky Lynch.
Oh, you picked.
Yeah,
Becky
I picked
Lynch.
Becky.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Your choice.
I'm just going to tell people, if you wanted to know who Howard picked, go watch the prediction video.
Oh,
man. That's why we did the prediction video.
That's true.
Put the link in the chat.
We didn't have to wait. Yeah, smash your buttons in the chat. And then,
Yeah.
Howard's
The
keeping
link
track of time
will
because it's
be
almost midnight
live.
now, and Howard
It
still
will
has
be
to drive
posted.
half an hour back home.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But Howard's
prediction
pick
video.
was.
Go watch it. We made our predictions. All right. Rumble starts. We had our first surprise right off the bat. I didn't think it was much of a surprise because there was a lot of anticipation for some people that Naomi would be there because she lives in the Orlando area, right down the road, of course, and she was entrant number 2. Big D, surprise entrant of Trish and Asuka, the winner for no reason. Big D, thank you for smashing the keys. And you are now officially going on the sheet. You made the list! You just made the list. So the first entrant of the Women's Rumble was Natalya against second, the returning Naomi after walking out of the company over a year ago. This match, by the way, was 1 hour, 5 minutes exactly. So 65 minutes exactly. So, the order of elimination, we'll just go by this because there's 30 of them and then it'll just make sense, I think. Does that sound like it'll make the most sense?
Sure.
Okay.
You put your 2 cents in.
2! Indy Hartwell got eliminated by Bayley. She was the first elimination. LeRae by Bayley, Asuka, and Sane. Natalya by Tegan Knox. Tegan Knox by Bayley. Kairi Sane by Asuka. Asuka by Bianca Belair. Jordan Grace by Bianca Belair. Carter by Piper Niven. Lee by Nia Jax. Nile by Nia Jax. Maxxine Dupri by Bayley. Piper Niven by Nia Jax. Chance by Nia Jax. Chelsea Green by Becky Lynch. Valhalla by Nia Jax. Fire by Naomi. Zelina Vega by Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler by Nia Jax. Mia Yim by Nia Jax. Shotzi by Nia Jax. Nia Jax by first time entrant wrestler. Her match, first match. Jade Cargill. Not Cardor.
Cargill was what they
Cardor. Thanks, Pat McAfee, for that one. Right. Zoe Stark by Liv Morgan. Perez by Stratton. Becky Lynch by Jade Cargill. Naomi by Jade Cargill. Stratton by Bayley. Leaving Bayley, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Liv Morgan for your final 4. So, Bianca Belair was eliminated by Bayley. Jade Cargill was eliminated by Liv Morgan. And the final 2, Liv Morgan and Bayley. Your Royal Rumble winner for the women's match was Bayley, eliminating Liv Morgan. And out of all of that, Jordan Grace, the current TNA Knockouts champion, I was looking for the word there. She was really the biggest surprise entrant, in my opinion, out of this Rumble. Probably heard her name before or seen it on the Facebook pages, but didn't really ring a bell there. Out of everybody in this year's match, Nia Jax had 8 eliminations and Bayley had 7.
Yeah, there were a couple of really great moments throughout this. Chelsea Green, I loved they had this kind of constant running bit of her constantly getting crushed by either Nia Jax or Piper Niven, and it just kept
She got
going.
sandwiched like 3 times.
Yeah, and you know, like then when she was down, and they kept landing on her, and
Got a screamer.
yeah, it was it was a good bit of comedy that really helped make that kind of middle section of the Rumble better, because you know the Rumble always starts off really strong, the middle kind of tends to drag, and the end is always exciting, and she brought I thought a very humorous kind of tone to that middle section with kind of this whole side story. The only thing that I thought was missing is that when they eliminated Piper Niven, she should have landed on Chelsea Green, who was on the floor actually already, and
Just would have killed her.
It would have
Like a
just
bug.
it would have just been like the nice final note on that. Although they chose to go with one where Chelsea finally avoids getting crushed at least once.
It would have brought 2 jokes to a complete.
Yeah.
Again, a production mistake. Let's be honest here. Pre-planned.
The other great moment that stands out to me that I thought was really enjoyable was after Jade Cargill threw out Nia Jax, and they cut to a little bit wider screen, and there's Becky Lynch just standing there with this big grin on her face. Just that was just
laughing. That was good.
That was
one production plus for the night, right there.
Yeah, the way that they did that was.
We missed in the list, if you're counting people being named, one was not in there of Valhalla because of her being eliminated and tying Chelsea Green's record for the quickest elimination in a women's Royal Rumble match at 5 seconds. And that is because of R-Truth entering the women's match unofficially.
That kicked off about a 30 or 40 second sequence of just what is going on?
Get the kazoo.
It was.
It's definitely playing on R-Truth's history of mistaking what the match actually is. So he came in at number 24 in the women's Rumble, thinking it was the men's Rumble.
Yep.
I was hoping he would pin somebody at some point and going off with a victory, but
almost.
Yeah, he had in a past Rumble actually came out and started getting a ladder out because he thought it was Money in the Bank.
It was either last year or the year before he had the ladder.
Yeah, they had featured that in some replays.
And before in the pre-show, what's his name from SiriusXM was going around interviewing people, and he went into the batting area that's in the dugouts of Tropicana Field.
Want to crack open some numbers for me?
With his balls.
Yeah, that bit didn't work for me.
I mean, no.
Yeah. I'd say that was the cringiest part of the pre-show right there.
Drew's ball. And drew his number out of there, but still.
Yeah, he was on a betting cage.
Baseballs is like, okay, heck, he's not that dumb. At least little Jimmy could have told him, like, hey, these are baseballs.
Yeah, that one didn't land for me. But yeah, him coming out during the Women's Rumble was good, and will play into what happens later.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that gets us through the Women's Rumble. Overall, all right.
Yeah.
I will say,
lots of botches.
The beginning of it was really rough. There was a lot of missed stuff, a lot of
botchamania.
Yeah.
So out of 100, if you were to give it a score, what would you give it? If you want to, well, that's a nice score. That's pretty close to mine.
I mean, I would probably give it a 70, so a C on the teacher.
Give it a 67.
The college scale, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It passes.
D's get degrees.
It's passable, as I said. The beginning was kind of rough, but there were some good comedy bits throughout, and
it
had a decent ending to it. So, yeah.
It felt like there was a decent story to it.
Yeah, and I think that
or at least they at least wanted to portray a story.
Yeah, and I think there'll be some good storylines that come out of it. So,
Yeah.
which is what the Rumble is for. It's to help start setting up your WrestleMania program.
What I would
Good
love to see,
good avenues for the future.
Absolutely. And what I would love to see for next year and every year after that for the Rumble, even for the men's Rumble. This year was good. We'll talk about that later at the beginning. But in the future for the women's, start out with 4 people. Because then you have a little bit more action happening. And there's not necessarily the like, hey, let's like try and wrestle or something. and trying to
Would
figure out
would you
spots.
say that you would do the match in maybe like a 3 or 4 minute increment, and you'd add a fatal 4-way every time through?
No. Just right at the start of the match. Either
Oh,
have
come
3
on.
or 4 people, and then still go with the 90 seconds. 90 seconds as you're going through, just to add a little bit extra action right at the beginning, and maybe less of a possibility to make it look like they're overly trying. And
Well, how about you add a fatal 4-way every 2 minutes?
Yeah.
then there's too many people. The action's too damn high, and then production doesn't know what's going on.
I think it's
Get better production.
Yeah. I think you have to structure.
Because I will not say that the wrestlers are the detriment to the production. I will say that they are the best part.
Yeah. My only thing that I would say, kind of to counter that thought, Kidder, is it really depends on who your wrestlers are that you have in there, because you had in the men's Rumble, we had the Usos start off, and it started off
Spoilers.
pretty action packed.
Yes.
So I really think it means
Minus the first 15 seconds.
yeah,
We'll get to that, though.
we'll get to that, but you
At least for the women's. That's where I'm going.
well, I think you got to structure it, because what they did with the women's is they started off with maybe not their best wrestlers, and they kind of saved those for later.
Yeah.
And I think you got to do it just like you do your pay-per-view. You need to have a couple of strong people out early at the beginning to kind of get that action going and get you going, and then you kind of put out your weaker or your not so hot, your mid-carders, or maybe a low carder here and there.
Because playing devil's advocate, had number 3 been in there, that was Bayley. And there would have been a little bit better action.
No, we still had some issues once Bayley got in. It wasn't really until Candice LeRae gets in that she actually brought some energy to it, because it was slow that first.
Kyle's grasping for something.
Oh, I have a question for you, gentlemen.
For me or us?
Well, for for you guys and the people watching live in chat, but when you say pay-per-view, it used to be way back in the day you had to call your cable company and say, hey, I want to watch this, or you want to press on the remote. So premium live event, pay-per-view, whatever you decide to call this.
They don't know either.
Would you say there's a dilution of that, because there's a lot of people that get the Peacock streaming service for free because of their cable subscription, or because of their cell phone subscription, or they're leeching off of their parents' cable line and they get to watch it, but they want to reach a broader audience?
Yeah, they absolutely want to get to as many people as possible.
Well,
that's where Logan Paul comes in, because they want to get to his 82 billion followers and
spread that cred. So
the cred.
Yeah.
A big D in the chat putting his chat in their predictions as well, with Logan Paul for the IC title, and Edge and Christian coming back, and CM Punk as the winner. For the Fatal 4-Way,
Good mind.
our next match.
He picked LA Knight,
Yep.
hitting somebody else
Yeah.
than Reigns.
Right.
I did too.
I summarized it because
Thank you.
I've already added up his score. I know where Big D placed in the
Perfect.
overall.
The Big D Business Center.
Mm-hmm.
And extra Roman Rock connections there. So, perfect. All right. Rude Boy, any other final thoughts with what you were thinking?
No, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. It had its ups and downs, story wise and literally. So, but yeah, it was. I'd say it was a quality opening match. But yeah, the production aspects aside, that might be its own show in itself.
Pretty much. Yes.
So
I'd
let's
also like
push
to
on to match number 2.
I'd also like to see Nia Jax unemployed again. So that would greatly help my interest in any match or show that she's on. Match number 2 for the night is your fatal 4-way for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. This match, 19 minutes, 30 seconds. Yes, 30. 19 and a half minutes long. Your champion, the WWE Universal Champion, undisputed, Roman Reigns, with the wise man himself, Paul Heyman, versus AJ Styles versus Randy Orton versus LA Knight. Yeah. And Big D has concluded his predictions. The Team ECK of Internet Podcasting. Is he drunk again?
When is he not?
That's a good point.
I think he's calling us out as the winners of the night. He's got his predictions in.
Yeah. Rude Boy, this one, you went with?
I went with LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched the pre-show and I went with the hot pick. It was kind of a underdog, I guess, but I know and I watch enough in passing, we'll say, to know that it was low money and high risk bet, but I went with the LA Knight.
Edge Christian Kurt, you noobs? Like Kurt Angle?
Yes. He's referring back. There was a little chunk of time where there was some comedy between Edge, Christian, and Kurt Angle.
Oh, right. Very, very true.
Yeah. I mean, this is
Like
You can't call me a noob because I don't watch it enough to be called a noob. So W to me.
I like JS's pick.
Thank you for
Rumble
watching, Big D.
JS with the surprise entrant pick of Steve Blackman coming back, Farouk and Thrasher, and Blackjack Wyndham coming in, lays the smacketh down with a steel chair. I don't remember many steel chairs being present for Rumble matches.
Actually, it has happened.
Like it has, but many.
Yeah.
You know, because how many can you remember? Name off the top of your head, like 3.
And anytime that you had Mick Foley in, or when Raven was in, they tended to bring weapons with them to the match.
Sure.
So it has happened. It's not uncommon.
No, they went Rude Boy for a second. He was golfing. He's done with us. So yeah, in the teaser video, which you can watch, we made our predictions. Of course, you'll know. This match, 19 minutes, 30 seconds long, and I thought this one, with the subtraction of Roman Reigns, was the match of the night.
Really?
I did.
I disagree.
Well, that's okay. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I actually thought this match was kind of boring.
Well, that's because Roman Reigns is in it.
No, actually, it had nothing to do with Roman Reigns.
Oh.
Nothing really happened in
Yeah,
it.
nothing crazy happened. But I like LA Knight, and I like Randy Orton. Lots of momentum for both of those AJ Styles ripped out of his mind.
I
Did you notice that?
yeah, I mean,
He's like,
this had all the potential to be match of the night.
Yes. It wasn't.
They just didn't do much. I mean, I did like the bit where they were competing and bouncing each other off the table.
Yeah.
That was good, but after that, it just
Yep.
it was kind of everybody just got their stuff in, and then it was done.
Right. How about the shenanigans?
Ooh.
Moderate shenanigans. Right toward the end, the 3/4 mark of the match. Rude Boy's got strong opinions, and I want to hear about them.
Well, I like to say that my line of thinking is very, we'll say, parallel to where Howard's is. It had the billing to almost overtake the Royal Rumble itself. I started watching the pre-show, and I tried to digest all the emotion and momentum for one wrestler and try and make my pick, because I don't watch it regularly, as you guys and the audience know. But it's something that I
was hoping that you were just going to say, yeah, the stupid interactions coming in, hosing around, and creating crap in the back of the match. Can't have a clean finish.
It's something that you almost have one of those flare guns on a boat that's sinking, and you're ready to pull the trigger, and this was the match that I had to pull the trigger and say, this is where the boat's sinking, because it's just too much BS, too much that is going to take a storyline and swing it 180 degrees.
Just
But
wait
yeah.
till the next match.
But you wait. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, the thing with it is Solo's interference.
Expected.
And did nothing.
Yeah.
It did nothing, really. Except
In my opinion, it undermined his existing confidence and his 1,035 days or whatever the count was of him being the Universal Champion. And then they show him at I'm not going to spoil it.
I mean, it's a classic heel faction thing to have that. So they're playing within the trope. But my thing about it is the only thing that it did was allow them to get Paul Heyman's spoiler of stacking people up
Yes.
to happen.
Yep.
But that
Fat bald guy screaming at the camera before the match doesn't necessarily make the end of the match prediction possible.
Well, no,
He's
I'm
not
How about
making
that?
predictions, He's giving spoilers.
right, and I'm just saying, like he gave that line about, well, at SummerSlam he stacked Daniel Bryan and Edge up and pinned them both. He's gonna do that, here again, and so I think they did it just because, let's just replay that kind of moment and play with it. But that's all that Solo really did, and it just, it didn't contribute anything to that match.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
That was one of the I'll say that's one of the largest shenanigans I've ever seen. One of the largest.
Just wait, Rude Boy. There's more.
Just wait, there's more.
So your winner for this one, without a doubt and no waver in my prediction on this, Roman Reigns continuing the run off toward WrestleMania. All right. Next on the card is a singles match for the WWE United States Championship. Logan Paul, full of cred, your current champion, versus KO Kevin Owens. Lazy Goalie yelling at us, "Be right back!" Guess he's going to be right back. He yelled it all the way from the Des Moines way. And we lost a viewer because of it. See that?
Yeah, I mean, it is getting late.
Yeah. Who did he pick on this one? Logan Paul, right?
He took...
Oh, Kevin Owens.
He took Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens. He was a KO pick.
Mm-hmm.
And both of us, of course, on the pre-show. You can watch that video. Please give us the click and hit the thumbs up button for us. That would greatly help us. Aside from that, hey, thumbs up, please, and subscribe. You can also donate to the show, little as $1 a month. Links right on your screen if you're watching this. Streamlabs.com/BeerBluesBS or in the show notes, also below. All right, this did have some pretty good action to it, you know.
This is where I would say this is my match of the night, and I know that there's some real dislike of Logan Paul out there, but I think with that dislike, with that cockiness, I thought him and Kevin Owens told a very good story out there. They were entertaining. That you had your back and forths throughout it. It really was kind of like it fit kind of their dynamic and everything that they had set up, and I felt like it was a good story. Even the shenanigans at the end, I was okay with, because it kind of sets up that there could be more to this.
Sure.
So
maybe at Elimination Chamber in Australia.
Yeah.
Next month, 4 weeks away.
Yeah, because maybe if you didn't see it, this is a good back and forth match. Lots of really different
pretty big spots.
Yep, some very big spots. But towards the end of it, you're going to get some interference. One of Logan Paul's cronies hops over the barricade. Security stops him. You get Austin Theory and Grayson Waller running down. While Waller is distracting the security and the ref, Austin Theory slips Logan Paul the brass knuckles.
Yeah.
He goes to swing. Kevin Owens sees it, catches it, pulls off the brass knuckles, nails Logan Paul, goes for the pin. The ref counts 1, 2, stops because he spots the brass knuckles because Kevin Owens forgot to take them off, and we get a DQ. So Logan Paul is your victor at 14 minutes exact.
Rude boy leaning back there, and that would that?
Yes, I know you're going for it, but this is definitely our DraftKings screwy finish of the night.
Ta-da!
I certainly agree 100 and 1,000%. Yeah, I wanted Kevin Owens to win because of the distaste for the... Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Fred.
Screwy finish of the night.
A little delay.
Yeah. He had a bone to pick, certainly. And he did every step along the way to have some form of redemption. And he ends up getting the shenanigans end of it at the end of the match. So,
and as Howie Blues was saying, that with the screw at the end there, this could and should set up more interactions here, and potentially even Logan Paul defending this damn thing more than once every 3 months.
Yeah, especially because after the match, you will actually get Kevin Owens coming in, attacking Logan Paul, and putting him through the announcer table. So
I enjoyed that part. That was my, regardless of the ending of the match, that was my favorite part of the match, because you had a wrestler that took a rube and put him in his place.
Yeah, and because the match ends in a DQ, I guarantee we're going to get to see another match between these two, and I'm okay with that. And I think it'll have a stipulation of some sort. So it'll
Only
now
Knuckles.
Kyle's
Right.
favorite part still.
broadcast professionals over
I
here.
know.
But
I had to like our video. Nobody else is.
I liked it.
But I would say that's the thing with it is it set up further story. You had Kevin Owens lose, but he lost not by pinfall.
No.
So Kevin Owens comes off strong in this. People still hate Logan Paul.
Yeah.
The whole crowd was pulling for KO, and the crowd knew that KO won legitimately.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
this is, as I said, this is my match of the night. I enjoyed this one immensely, and
JS going back to the last match there, still in continuation with Roman Reigns running his dominance in the ring. Harvey Whippleman comes out from under the rings after Reigns thinks that he's won. Whippleman lands a drop kick, puts out his cigar in Reigns' face. Man, that's a tough pill to swallow. But yeah. This
we'll
one
have to
has
pre-order WWE 2024 to make that actually happen.
You know, if they would actually listen to us, they could make these things actually happen, you know? Like they used to do. They used to bug our room in El Forco Grande. They'd listen to our ideas all the time. That seems like a good idea. And 2 weeks later, we'd see it on. We're like, hey, that's our thing. But
A multiplayer Beer, Blues, and BS Rumble on Saturday nights.
Couple of spots in this. Yes, through the commentary desk at the end. Great. How about the semi-botch with Logan Paul landing on his hand?
Yeah. I mean, you have to remember, the guy's only been wrestling for...
You're right. Just how it looked like it really hurt.
Yeah.
Big old indent right in his
I thought
upper
they
pectoral.
really tried to oversell KO's right hand injury, and it felt like we're like, oh, if he steps on his hand one or two more times, then he might be done. And I mean, it was. I mean, it just felt like another step towards KO eventually putting this guy in his place, even though he did lose on a technicality.
I will say, KO's selling was consistent throughout. A lot of times when they're working an injury angle, it's amazing how many times they're like, oh, the leg, his knee is bothering him, but then I'm going to do this miraculous spot and my knee is fine until I need it to hurt again. But if you ever watch like KO throughout this entire match, he was doing things to show that he was in pain. Like he'd go for the pop-up power bomb and you'd see him recoil, as if...
I thought Randy Orton sold his shoulder injury a little better eventually down the road.
Excellent worker who does that very well. So, fun fact for you. I learned this actually listening to a Randy Orton interview. But early in his career, he actually had several shoulder injuries. And after that, he realized, man, I want to continue wrestling. If this is going to continue to be a problem, I need to change how I do this. And so his entire offense for like the last 13, 14 years, he doesn't lift anybody. He actually refuses. He doesn't do any suplexes or anything like that where he'd lift anybody because he was afraid. He didn't want to hurt his own shoulder again. It's about the time that he debuted the RKO. That was why he needed to finish.
I've got another angle for you. Randy Orton will not suplex Kevin Owens.
Out of nowhere!
Yeah.
Anyways.
Randy Orton, here's a who. Good stuff. Okay. There we go with that match. And of course, your winner by disqualification is Logan Paul and still retains the United States Championship, which leads us to your main event. Got myself with that.
Does he get to keep his cred?
He's
No,
like turning
okay.
his bottle as he's walking out.
I actually forgot this. I don't know if you caught it in it, but there was actually a little spot right kind of at the beginning of the match where Kevin Owens was on the outside, and one of the audience members actually had a bottle of Prime sitting kind of right by the barricade. As Owens went by, he just knocked it over.
You swapped it over. Yeah.
So
Hit the cred.
yeah, just knocked the bottle of Prime over and went. It was just so subtle, but he did it, and so
I was too distracted in this match thinking of the South Park references to cred like the whole time. I had to show Jerome because he was here. I had to show him, and he's like, "Holy crap, this is exactly right." And then he also shared that it's an actual thing, and kids are collecting the flavor bottles. And it's just like the special. I'm like, no way. I know South Park takes a lot from reality, but I didn't think it was that bad where people were collecting different flavors of a stupid sports drink. But then I think about it again that people are obsessed with getting a stupid drink container of a certain brand that apparently the paint has lead in.
It's the Beanie Babies of the 2020s. So
Whatever.
hey,
here we are.
fun fact.
Another fun fact, Howard, for the night.
Well, hey, no, this is more of like history with Howard, but
Ooh,
we don't have that graphic loaded.
Yes.
But hey, fun fact for you. Back in the 70s,
Back in the old days.
Dutch Boy Paint actually would advertise that their lead paint was actually flavored, and so they had a little sample book that had all of the different colors, and like, this is green and it's pistachio flavored, and here's white and it's vanilla flavored, encouraging people to lick their lead paint
Lead-based paint. Cool.
walls. Yep. So
Bunch of schnozberries taste like
Do not lick the paint.
yeah.
As a disclaimer
There's
from
your
this show.
disclaimer. Don't drink out of the big fancy popular mugs. Don't buy them. Don't waste your money. Instead, buy a Triple B glass that is non-lead paste paint and lead-based paint.
Yeah.
And rub it off on me.
Anyway,
Only vinyl graphics on the outside.
anyway, back to the main event.
Main event. Yeah, 30-man Royal Rumble match for a World Championship headlining match at WrestleMania in Philadelphia. Coming up just 70 days. Don't paint and stairs. That's a good one for Big D, who typically spends his days in enclosed spaces.
I think we're going to have to send Big D a cease and desist. That clearly is treading on our trademarked "don't drink in stairs."
It's true. A very true. And that truth can be seen at streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs or beerbluesbs.com and click on merch, because don't drink in stairs.
Yeah. Don't worry, Big D. We'll have our lawyers call your lawyers.
Or just you. Just watch your mail. It'll follow you wherever you go. My first beef about the Royal Rumble match, talked about it a little bit earlier here, not on the show, but this match needs to be at least a 40-man Rumble. There need to be more entrants, because then it can open it up to, again, the legends, a true surprise, the NXT up-and-comers, and really open up the whole roster. Now, we're not talking about the AEW roster where they have like 8,300 people, but there's still enough people in the back who don't get a chance to experience a Royal Rumble and be in it for even 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And if you're thinking, gosh, that would add to the time, you know what you do? You cut out one of the annoying promos before the match. We had a promo for the Elimination Chamber. We had a promo for WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. There was, I forget what else there was, but there was
St. Pete, the sponsor, one of the sponsors of the show.
St. Pete was in there.
Slim Jim.
No, that was before the Fatal 4-Way.
Cricket Wireless.
No, but we had. We also did. This was a weird placement. Talk about production. This is where they put their Royal Rumble by the numbers.
Yeah.
One, which if you listened to it, it was it was clearly made to be before either of the Royal Rumble matches. And so where it played was kind of off because they were referencing things like Rhea Ripley has the longest time in the
it
Royal
was.
Rumble, but that just got beat.
Yeah, somebody said a new record, but they
Bayley.
say they reference a new record, so
Yes.
Yeah.
Bayley beat that by
a couple
4
minutes.
minutes. 3
2.
3 or 2. 2. We'll go with that.
2. So
Keep people awake.
yeah.
Thanks for watching, by the way. Hit the sub button and the like button. Thanks.
And the bell so you don't miss any new videos.
So, but
Other thoughts?
I thought that the Royal Rumble was better paced out. You know, it started off very well with the Jay and Jimmy Uso coming out as
on
1-2
action.
and they, yes, it took them a little bit to get started because they got in each other's face and we were having a stare down, and
Which I'm okay with, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the first meeting between them since they turned on each other.
right, and so it was a nice way to start, and it really kind of again set up some of what then occurred throughout the Rumble. You constantly had Jimmy. Anytime somebody came in and did a move to Jay, Jimmy was coming over clapping and let me shake your hand. We're on the same team.
And then,
Yeah, I sent the text to Mark at the beginning, and I was like, "Is this going to be 90 seconds of them just kind of side-eyeing each other?" And I was fully expecting them to stare at each other for 90 seconds until the next intro music played. And I was very thankful it didn't.
Truthfully, it's about
yeah.
62 seconds. So
It was close enough, but for an intro to WrestleMania, it could have been a little better, but they made the best with what they got, I guess.
did you notice as the Rumble match, the men's match kept going on, that the times kept speeding up a little bit between wrestlers?
It did feel like it had some pace to it.
Yeah.
Maybe because there's maybe some more action constantly, but I'd have to go back and watch the replay and time it out. But maybe I don't know who does the timings, but maybe it was Pat.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that we've seen over the years as we've been covering this that have timed it, and I've timed it too 1 year. It's not a straight 90 seconds. It's they will shift here and there because they will have their moments that they want to hit. And so they will kind of play with that, and they will give a little bit more time if they're telling an important part of the story in the match, and then other times they'll be like, okay, let's just.
But it felt like especially the men's match, there was something going on or about to go on, and then you have the intro and it swapped fast and it swapped back and it swapped back to the match, and you didn't get the full intro, but you also didn't get the full story of what's going on in the ring.
Yeah, some of that
or it changed just because of the dynamics of the intro with somebody else or what have you. So
yeah.
So we know who I picked, obviously. We know who you picked.
Yep.
Who'd you pick, Rude Boy?
I picked the Chicago man's Mr. CM Punk.
And your surprise entrant?
He had either Stone Cold or The Undertaker, and I gave him both because the odds of those coming through were
I was going for big money.
those were big predictions.
Yeah.
compared to some of the people.
Went
on
out on 2 limbs at once, and so we had to give it to him. So just in case. So, order of entrance. I'll give you the 30 entrants, and then we'll go down the eliminations from there. All right. Number 1, Jay Uso, Mr. Main Event Jay Uso himself. Number 2, Jimmy Uso. Number 3, Grayson Waller. Number 4, who I think was probably the biggest surprise entrant for the men's rumble, was Andrade El Idolo, or whatever he's going by now that he's back in WWE, a la Mr. Charlotte Flair. There you go for that one. Number 5, Carmelo Hayes. Number 6, Shinsuke Nakamura. 7, Santos Escobar. 8, Karrion Kross. 9, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Number 10, is cool. Is Calito. Number 11, Bobby Lashley. Number 12, Ludwig Kaiser. 13, Austin Theory. 14, Finn Balor. 15, my son Cody Rhodes. My son Cody Rhodes come down to the ring. He's gonna talk. 16, Bronson Reed. 17, Kofi Kingston. At 18, Gunther. 19, Ivar. 20 was Braun Breaker. 21, as interesting as a wet paper bag, Omos. Number 2, 22, that is, double 2s, Pat McAfee. And I have a beef about that, which we'll talk about after the eliminations. 23 was J.D. McDonough. Number 24, as Howard previewed in the Women's Rumble, R-Truth. 25, Miz. 26, Damian Priest. 27, CM Punk. 28, Ricochet. 29, Drew McIntyre. And number 30, Sami Zayn. First to be eliminated, Grayson Waller. Number 2, Escobar. Number 3, Carlito. Number 4, Cross. Number 5, Lashley. Number 6, Hayes. Number 7, Theory. Number 8, Andrade. Number 9, Nakamura. 10, Kaiser. 11, Kofi. 12, Jimmy Uso. 13, Balor. 14, Reed. 15, Ivar. Number 16, Pat McAfee himself. Big D signing off. Jet lag whipping his butt. You have a good one too. You can't even stay around to see who won the damn match. Number 17, the elimination, Omos. 18, Breaker. 19, McDonough. 20, R-Truth. 21, Mysterio. 22, Miz. 23, Jey Uso. 24, Ricochet. 25, Priest. 26, Zayn, leaving your final 4 of Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Gunther, and my son Cody Rhodes. So, your elimination, 27th elimination, Drew McIntyre. 28th, Gunther. And 29, the final elimination, because your final 2 are CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Final elimination, CM Punk, meaning the winner and now holder of a title shot is my son Cody Rhodes, the son of a plumber. He's wined and dined with the finest of things, and he's dined on pork and beans and things, and the whole promo. So there you go, winner of the Royal Rumble, second year in a row. And he's the 4th person to win 2 Rumbles consecutively. Cody Rhodes.
What'd you think, Howie?
I thought it was a good Rumble. I thought there were a lot of, again, just nice little spots throughout. With it, I was trying to remember some of the bigger kind of moments that occurred within it that were worth mentioning. You had kind of the little feud between Karrion Kross and Bobby Lashley. The Authors of Pain get involved. You have them kind of fight through. We got an apple spit out of Carlito.
That's cool.
That was pretty much the only reason he was in there.
That's cool.
I was hoping for Nakamura to go deep. He was just entertaining to watch. It was a good time.
You wanted the red mist?
It was just, it was just something that he caught my attention. And I thought he would make it to maybe the final 5 or 7 or something.
Side note, that was 1 hour, 8 minutes, 25 seconds. So an hour, 8:25. To continue your thoughts momentarily, scrolling down the list, the highest number of eliminations was Cody Rhodes with 4, and tied with Braun Breaker at 4, and then Gunther had 3, and then CM Punk with 2, Bobby Lashley with 2, and then a bunch of others with 1. Drew McIntyre also had 2.
A couple of other little things. Kofi Kingston did not try any special save this year.
Yeah.
I think that's because the last few years when he's tried to do that, it hasn't worked. Kairi Sane tried one in the women's match where she somehow managed to spider cling to the side of the ring.
Little spider monkey.
And I think that they were going to try and have her get back in, but I think that was a slip, that they weren't able to pull her back in. But still, nothing from Kofi.
Looked good. It was an extreme effort.
Yeah.
It was good. Nothing from Kofi.
He still had some theatrics here and there, but they were like a 3, 2, 1, and like it looked like he was going to go over, and then they may have cut to the next intro. So,
otherwise, really, I thought the end went a bit too long between Cody and CM Punk.
Yes.
It wasn't bad, but it almost felt like we'd gone through the entire Royal Rumble and now we're having a match on top of it. And they took up probably a good 8-10 minutes just at the end, just the two of them, and it was okay, but it was kind of repetitive. It was very much crossroads, make an attempt, go to sleep, make an attempt. It's just nothing really kind of happened with that. It was kind of
yeah. I mean, I'd say if I were to get one prediction right tonight, it was my prediction of the start of this podcast to be about 11 p.m. And I mean, not to say that the men's match went too long or not, but yeah, it was something that Mark was like, "Oh yeah, I think we'll be ready to go start podcasting about 10:30." So, yeah.
Truthfully, if they would have cut out some of the extra promos in the show, we probably could have got there. So, the last interesting thing that I had was at the end. We had Cody Rhodes seemingly calling out Roman Reigns at the end, which is interesting because like everybody's big rumor has been The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and so it's weird if Cody. This signifies maybe some change, maybe something happened, maybe The Rock's schedule is suddenly booked up and he can't make Mania. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there, but that is definitely a change that I don't think anybody was expecting. Those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, it's good. I like the straight call out because both Rollins and Reigns were in the arena watching the finale of the match, and so I like that. That was all right. Because normally it's just them pointing at the sign, fireworks, and then good night everybody from wherever we are.
Yeah,
and the promo video at the end. Very good. I'm glad that they brought that back. They must have been listening to at least that part of our shows because I've talked about it for a while. And it's been a while since they started doing it again, but they didn't do it for the longest time, and it just felt like there's something missing at the end. I would have liked to have seen CM Punk win it, but I also think this potentially opens it up for him to now just move into the World Heavyweight Championship picture, take on Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it goes to if you're changing it up, if you don't have The Rock and now you need somebody for Roman, this gets you somebody for Roman. You already kind of have the feud started between Rollins and Punk, so, you know, you can make that work.
Yeah.
So.
Rude Boy, your closing thoughts on the men's Rumble there?
Yeah, it was exciting. I was pulling for CM Punk to win, but didn't come to fruition. But I enjoyed it was something that you would think that you would pull for a few more opportunities, because I saw the tactical and smartness out of the women's match of being able to take out multiple opponents in one swoop that Bayley had. I was hoping that maybe CM Punk might be able to go along that same track, because it was Gunther and Drew McIntyre, or I think it was either McIntyre or who was it? Somebody else was on the ropes at the same time. They were kind of wrestling each other, just both on the ropes, kind of. And I was hoping that CM Punk would come in and just foul swoop them out and just take a 2-for-1 kind of type of moment, but didn't happen. But that sometimes doesn't happen in the men's matches. So
There she goes.
Yeah, but it was entertaining. It was a good show. It was good to see CM Punk come back.
Right, I like it. First match, 10 years to the day, when he last wrestled his televised match in WWE, and of course 10 years and change from that year's Royal Rumble. Other than that, my issues, Omos should not be employed. Is as interesting as a wet paper bag. Keep MVP. Have him go back to Bobby Lashley and his group. Perfect. Or have him go back to wrestling, and then he's balling, or whatever. Pat McAfee segment. Cool that he got called up for the Rumble to wrestle. That whole shock of like, well, he's on commentary and I got to wrestle. Okay, I like that. What he did, dumb. Eliminating himself. I didn't like it.
You know, the thing is that's an homage to the 2001 Royal Rumble. Remember this one?
I probably fell asleep.
So the 2001 Royal Rumble, you had coming out first and second were Matt and Jeff Hardy. Third coming out was comic legend Drew Carey. Who stood outside the ring until Matt and Jeff had pretty much eliminated each other. He gets in the ring and
he's cheering, right?
Yeah, and the fourth entrant is Kane, the big red machine.
Yep.
And as Kane enters the ring, Drew gets scared and jumps over and eliminates himself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this was. This was meant to be a little bit of a comedy moment of him kind of looking at these two really big guys and going, I am not, I should not be doing this. And so,
he should have left after the first time, and it would have been a lot more funny than him jumping back in the ring and be like, I might have another chance at these guys, but maybe I don't have anybody in my corner type of feel.
Yeah. The second one was a little awkward, but I didn't hate it. And again, it's because we've seen something like this
You're right.
before, and it was meant to be more of a comedy. segment.
I would have rather it have been from somebody like Santino. You know, a comedic character. Like, I just got called in. And
Yeah.
I know McAfee can be the comedic element, but he's also the serious wrestler at times. Where he's done a lot of the serious work where a character like Santino, and I pick on him especially because he wasn't in and he holds the record for the fastest elimination in the Rumble, that would have been a perfect, like, he gets called in and he's bringing up the Cobra! And then he's like, nope, and he turns around and leaves.
Well, I mentioned it to Mark during the matches when we were back and forth while it was live. During the Fatal 4-Way, there was a huge collision just next to the table. And it would have been an awful shame if they were just kind of angle it a different way and kind of have somebody kind of on the side of the announcer table kind of like this and be like, oh, and somebody comes in this way and Pat's right over here, right behind me, and be like, oh, and he goes and his headset goes flying and suddenly there's no more Pat, or he comes back, and that would have been my pet entertainment for the match, but that's
Yeah.
Fair enough.
yeah.
So, I get your take on that. It should be comedic, but also when he has wrestled, he's, because he's not a huge guy actually.
Yeah.
For a former pro football player.
Well, he's a kicker.
A short king,
Oh, well,
if you will.
whatever, man. Football and sports. Yeah, sports.
So,
Maybe we'll get viewers to start talking about sports and how punters aren't
Sport
actually
ball.
kickers.
Go sports.
Yay! Super Bowl, Duper Bowl coming up.
so anyway,
I guess that's
Anyway.
really all I have. Out of the list is all right. I wish Kane would have been in there. Continue his record of number of appearances, because I think he still holds the most appearances in Rumbles.
he does.
And I don't think he has the record for eliminations. I think Lesnar has that, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe McIntyre. No, McIntyre wouldn't have it yet. Anyway, that's research that we could have done before this and then taken notes on it. But it just is what it is. So thanks for making it this far in the video.
Yeah. So let's hit some final takes on the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Overall impression, and let's give it a good letter grade. The teacher in me goes for the letter grades. So, Rude Boy Kyle, overall take on the whole show and a letter grade.
Let's see. Show altogether. Watching from the pre-show starting at 6, show starting at 7, and ending right around 11 or so, I'd give it a B-.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
I'm going about a 3.7.
I asked for a letter grade. Clearly, Kidder does not follow instructions.
I make my own rules. I'm a trailblazer.
Let's just knock 1 point.
3.7 out of 7.
I'm right there with you, Kyle, on a B minus.
Yeah.
For it.
60%
There is
of the time I work
you could
overtime.
you could tell there is a lot of effort, but there was also a lot of, like, you could see two things going this way and then they totally miss because of either production or the storyline or whatever else that they had to mingle in with it. But too many cooks in the kitchen, I guess.
For you, I will upgrade my number value to a C+,
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
which is pulling it above a 3.6.
Yes. All right. In the prediction game,
Out of a total
6 points that were possible, 4 for the matches, and then 1 for a surprise entrant in both the male and female Rumble. Kyle, I hate to tell you, you came in last. You had 0 correct. Big D
Close.
would be next. He got 1 correct. He got Logan Paul correct. We'll skip the 2 people who aren't here or watching.
JS.
Well, I didn't even count JS because JS just makes wild, crazy predictions, and I just know he's going to score a 0. But he gets an A.
Welcome to the club.
11 points.
Yeah. So that brings us to tied for second place is myself and the AI, Google Bard.
Wow.
We tied at 2 correct.
2.
Not the same 2, but we did have 2 correct. And Kidder, you are now the proud owner of bragging rights. You got 3 correct. You were the winner of the night.
Yeah.
So there you go. There you go. And with that, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a
Joke
while.
from last night
Yeah.
and 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
A round of applause.
The round of applause, yes. It's been a lot of talking. I still got a half an hour to drive home and go to bed. So we should wrap this thing up and maybe hit some cheap plugs.
Okay.
Would you like to do it or would you like me to?
Oh man, the decisions are heavy. We could make Rude Boy do it.
Cue the teleprompter. I don't have it in front of me. You got to give it to me.
So it's down to you or I.
Make him do it, but then we'll be here another half an hour.
Google Podcast is going away, so don't listen on that. But everything else, it's all good.
But you can still subscribe until it goes away. Okay, beerbluesbs.com. Visit it often. Buy us a beer. We need more because I'm out and he's out and he didn't even have one. Aside from that, down here, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. Subscribe. A little as $1 a month helps to help quench the thirst of some thirsty podcast hosts and things. Plus, it's a lot every month for us to keep this whole thing and the lights on and stuff. So
Hey, we might actually get some script writers.
Nope, the lights just went out. Oh,
yeah,
crap.
you're gonna look like Rude Boy over there, living in the shadows.
Oh, no.
Ain't nobody got no power. So again, subscribe, donate to the show, streamlab.com/beerbluesbs. Buy our merch. We'd love for you to join us with the merch. Lots of cool stuff from pint glasses to shirts, hats, signs, floor mats, shower curtains, Big D Business Center merch, much more. That's all at beerbluesbs.com. Click on merch. And, of course, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. We'd love for you to follow us everywhere as well. Please, just not in person. On Facebook and Instagram is the best place to do that. Click the thumbs up. Also on YouTube, subscribe and click the thumbs up on the videos. Help us get the likes because that gets us in front of more people like you. So thank you for helping us get in front of the peoples. We are the People's Podcast.
Are we?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks to people.
At least 150.
Thanks, people.
At least 151.
And thank you for having me on for another excellent wrestling review.
Hey, you're welcome, Rude Boy. Thanks for taking the 7 hours out of your day to watch the WWE content, and then 2 hours out of your day to do this. Aside from that, the audio versions are on every audio service out there for podcasts. So search for Beer Blues and BS. Again, Beer Blues and BS. And please subscribe to each of those. Like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. But Facebook and Instagram are two places to go and follow the show. And drop your comments, too. And if you haven't done that yet, the comments on this video, we want to hear from you. What did you think? Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? And we're talking Royal Rumble. But if you don't like this show, or you do like this show, let us know about that, too. Because that would be A-OK. So, rapid final thoughts. Howard.
I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Okay. Rude Boy.
Sweet dreams, Howard.
Hey, that's a good... That's awfully caring of Rude Boy Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Even if he is wrong about Pat McAfee.
No, you don't get that final thought. You got to save that for next Friday when we do another show.
Unsweet your dreams, Howard.
He's gonna get unsweetened tea.
Sour dreams.
Okay.
You know, nightmares are also dreams too. So
my son Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. All right, and with
I'm
that,
gonna wish those on my enemies or my friends.
He's the rude boy Kyle, rudest rude boy of them all. He's Howard Blues, and I'm the man, the myth, legend, Mark Kidder. Thanks for joining us for this and every episode of Beer Blues and BS. Have a good one. Keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we will catch you on down that top rope elimination Tuscan Highway as Rude Boy finally cracks into the high life, because that's where it is. ASMR.
Cheers.
And all. Good night, everybody, from the Triple B South and Southern South of the Des Moines way. Okay? Say bye, Howard.
Bye, Howard.